Hello and welcome to the Rivals podcast. Cambridge is here. How are you?
As always, fantastic. We're
Good.
still we're top of the league again, which is lovely. But yeah, all good. How are you?
I'm all right. Now we weren't expecting to be here on Monday, but then we realised the England squad comes out tomorrow, so we thought we'd do our own. But before we get to, I say our own, just what we would pick if we were Gareth Southgate. But before we get to that, we do need to talk about the Prem. The Prem has happened. You played Chelsea. I said this about the North London derby. I think I'm kind of safe to say it about this game. You didn't necessarily play well to win it. They played horrendously to lose it. They were shocking.
Agree. Yeah, I probably agree. Chelsea are in such a state at the moment. They were fairly. I'd probably say easy. I'd probably say easy to beat. They really showed no sign of
Did
even
they test Ramsdale at all?
not at all.
From memory, I can't remember them testing
Not at
him
all.
at all.
There was so many memes of him just like in a deck chair in goal. Like there was so many. But yeah, it was from a neutral's point of view, it was pretty boring. You know, our goal wasn't particularly outstanding. It was just kind of a Chelsea fuck up, and then Gabriel basically took advantage. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the league, that is a massive win for us. Huge.
Big. I will agree. There's something else I wanted to say on this game, but I've forgotten what it was. That's not annoying. It might come back to me. But yeah, I mean, fair play for the win. Aubameyang had a shocker.
He did.
Like he was terrible.
It was brilliant. It was fantastic to watch.
I thought you'd enjoy it.
But yeah, because he did that whole promo with BT Sport, didn't he? He did the whole promo of like, it's nothing personal. Yeah, okay.
Which he was told to say, to be fair. I feel like that's being slightly overplayed. Like, they did ask him to say that, but still.
He was. But, you know, it's quite funny. It's memeable. It's memeable, isn't it? So
this was the other thing I wanted to say. I think when Todd Bowley got rid of Tuchel, everyone was a bit like, really? It's just looking like a stinker. They've got rid of a proven top-class manager for a pretty unproven bloke called Graham.
I don't understand. It's actually it's mind-bending because like what Graham Potter was doing at Brighton was awesome. Like he was doing brilliantly at Brighton. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
But he hadn't earned a top job yet. Like I get like you want to take him take him on early and then take advantage of his prime years. You know, but I don't know. It just like you said, it's just a disaster of a move. Honestly, but to get rid of Tuchel was just it still perplexes me.
I think Potter deserved a step up from Brighton, but it's a big step to Chelsea. You're suddenly expected to go from top 10 to top 4 in Champions League.
Yeah, not to Chelsea though. I'd say, I mean, I don't even know a club that would be decent.
No, that's the problem at the moment.
But like, I mean,
say like a Villa or something.
Yeah, maybe. Like a Villa, maybe even a West Ham.
Yeah,
maybe. Something like that. Just something, just a little bit of a step up from Brighton because Brighton aren't, getting into Europa anytime soon.
No.
So that I think would be his, should have been his stepping stone. But he's here now, and I feel like he's only going to be presented as a failure.
Yeah, I mean he can improve. He's got time, but
Chelsea squad is just all over the place.
Yeah,
and we took full advantage. So
I was talking to my friend the other day. He said he's a Chelsea fan. He thinks they've got the weakest front three in the top 6, and I think they've comfortably got the weakest front three in the top 6 by like a mile.
Easily.
So, not good. Right, let's talk about our game, which I don't want to. We played Liverpool, and once again we were second half FC. First half, I just don't know where we were.
Yeah.
And they scored twice. Can't really take anything away from that. There was a penalty shout with Sessegnon. I don't care what anyone says. That is a penalty. It's so clear from a certain angle that he just.
For the podcast, for the benefit of the podcast, Dan, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. Right? I'm going to disagree with you on this one
because weren't what you were saying.
Because we were messaging during the game, and obviously you were messaging in all capitals because you thought it should have been a penalty.
It was.
No, I don't think it was, and I think the referee was right not to give a penalty because for the if you take yourself out of it, Dan, for the benefit of football, right? Yes, right. Trent shouldn't be touching anyone. Even if he's gave him half a shove,
side. He's nowhere near him.
he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be doing that. But Sessegnon has gone down very easily. He's gone down very easily.
What?
Right? And from the referee's angle, I know the exact angle you're talking about. I know the angle you're talking about. It's like the side view where it looks like he's giving him a right shove in the back. And
the video doesn't
slow that down, Dan. If you slow it down and analyse it frame by frame, absolutely should have been a penalty. But if you take it from the referee's angle, which is what we want to see, Dan, we want to see referees awarding penalties, not VAR. If you look from the referee's angle, Sessegnon's gone down too easy, and Trent's given him a little bit of a shove. That's it. That's
a stupid argument because you could say that about anything. If you look from the referee's angle, that's the point of VAR. If you look from a referee's handle, he might not have seen a punch in someone's face. If it happens, that's the point of VAR. Multiple angles, and they can go, that's clearly a pen. I wouldn't be so bothered if Cancelo wasn't sent off the day before by the same referee who was on VAR for our game. He was the actual referee for the City game. Cancelo was sent off for a pretty much identical incident. To go from red card penalty to nothing. For the same guy, we asked for consistency. It's worked against VAR in this point. They've given us consistency, same ref, same decision, but he's come to total opposite outcomes.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna battle you too hard on it, just because the rest of the game was quite funny from like a refereeing point of view.
He was shocking. He was so bad.
Absolutely atrocious. Even as an Arsenal fan, right? Because I was sat there, obviously supporting Liverpool because they're playing Spurs, and to witness just some of the things he was letting go was I'll let you walk. Do you want to walk the people through it? Because I
don't even remember all of them. But Højbjerg had his thigh stamped on by some studs right on the edge of the area. That wasn't a free kick. Kane went down right on the edge of the area, clearly tripped. That wasn't a free kick. I mean, we don't score free kicks anyway, but that's not the point. We deserve the free kick. Mora got booted in the head, very high boot. That's not a penalty. So I just give up. It's too often. Like, Tottenham and Bournemouth have not had a decision go their way for ages. Since Romero thought Cucurella was a party popper and just sort of yanked his stringy hair, we've had nothing go in our favour.
I mean, there were points yesterday where I was like, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous now. I think the one with Kane where he had, I can't remember the name of the guy. He had to come in together, and it wasn't a penalty because it was outside the box, but it was an obvious foul. Like he literally came crashing across, literally missed the ball completely and took Kane out. As a referee, you have to at least like use your whistle. You have a whistle.
The ref and the linesman. One of them has to see that.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I get the first one. Like, I'll argue the first one, but the rest of them just didn't make sense. Just didn't make sense to me. And I don't think you were robbed, but you should have had more chances than you did.
The thing is, we definitely should have had one. Quite easily could have had two penalties. With Harry Kane taking them, that's almost definitely one or two goals, depending on how many penalties we've got. Yeah. The free kicks, we don't really score free kicks, but you can work them in a way that we potentially could have got a goal. Like Perisic's dead ball plays are brilliant recently. Just there's so many in such good positions that was so obvious that we didn't get. Yes, Dyer made a mistake. We can't do anything about that, and that contributed to their goal. Yes, we shouldn't have played the way we did in the first half. But there's only so much you can do when you're doing everything right and nothing else goes in your favour. It's so frustrating to watch.
I mean, the goals you can't do anything about. Salah was Salah again. He scored two good goals. And I'll put my hands up. I mean, it was a good finish by Harry Kane. I'll put my hands up right now.
Pete Alisson from that angle is quite impressive.
It's pretty good. It wasn't bad, but I need him to do the same at the World Cup. Just do that at the World Cup
yesterday.
Just do it at the World Cup. All right, just do it. Literally, do exactly what you were doing yesterday at the World Cup, and I'll come back in January with a completely different perspective on who Harry Kane is as a striker. All right, I promise you that. Okay. Harry, if you're listening, that's your
Cool. Paratici was fuming after the game. There's a tunnel. There's a camera of him sort of going down the tunnel. He is fuming at the decisions, rightfully so. My favourite part of yesterday is we were messaging the hobby through the match. I was basically really angry. I sent a message. I said, we need Kulusevski so badly, which we did. He came on, minute 27 seconds later, gets an assist. So our two messages were, I need Kulusevski so badly. And then a few minutes later, I want Kulusevski's kid, was the next one I sent. He's so good at football. He's so important to our team.
He was brilliant. I can't take that away from him. He was brilliant.
He's unbelievable. And we bought Mora on. I think we should have bought Brian Gill on, but whatever. Right, we'll move on because it just angers me talking about referees at the moment. The only other game I want to mention from this weekend is the Leeds-Bournemouth game. Now, Bournemouth last week bottled a 2-goal lead to Tottenham, and I was ecstatic. They've done it 2 weekends in a row, and I wanted them to win this one. Gary O'Neill's done a good job, but his in-game management is shocking.
Yeah. I mean, it was an insane game, though, and that's such a massive win for Leeds because I think that's catapulted them into 11th or something. I think they're top. I think they're 11th now, and they were, 2-3 weeks ago, we were saying, are they going to get relegated?
They're 12th.
Yeah, so I mean, they've turned it round. I don't know how many points they are clear of relegation, obviously, because it's quite a tight battle. We said that last week. So it's still a tight battle, but that is a massive win, especially to do it like that, to come back. So yeah, round of applause to Leeds. If we can add that in post. I mean, I know this is uncut.
I don't edit it.
I know we don't edit that much. I'll do it. Well done.
All right. Well done.
Congratulations.
Well done. Yeah, but for Bournemouth, it's unacceptable. To go for Spurs, by the way, that we've got a stat: 4 games in a row, we've gone 2-0 down. That's unacceptable. To bottle a 2-goal lead, 2 games in a row, and lose both games, not even draw them. Tottenham, I can understand because we have the power on the bench to overturn Bournemouth. Leeds don't. It's just terrible from Bournemouth. Solanke's got a lovely goal, by the way, little backheeled finish. Whoa. But it's unacceptable. It really is, and it just hurts. I mean, it really does. I want them to do well.
I'm just looking through their last few fixtures. So obviously they blew it over the weekend against Leeds. They blew it against you guys, and then obviously they've had a 2-0 defeat to West Ham, which is inevitable. But we keep saying this. If you're a bottom league team like Bournemouth are, you need to beat other bottom clubs. You need to, and they've dropped points to Southampton. They've dropped points to Fulham, Leicester, Brentford. The list goes on of how many.
Leicester they beat.
Oh no, Leicester they beat. Sorry, yeah. So Leicester they beat, but all these other games where you should be, Bournemouth are, they've given teams a game this year. They gave Spurs a game.
Yeah.
So they should be able to. Not comfortably, but at least grind out a win against these lower league clubs. But yeah, if they keep going the way they're going, back to the Championship for you.
They are rumoured to be bringing in the current Bodo Glimt manager. I believe he is currently top of the list because the Norwegian season finishes just before the World Cup.
Right.
And then the current rumour is that he's the one coming in. So I don't know anything about him at all. They're in your Champions League group, weren't they? Europa League group.
Yeah, they were.
But yeah, I mean, if he comes in, I've got no idea what to expect from him, to be honest. But yeah, Gary O'Neill won't be sticking. He might stay at the club, but I think he'll leave because I think he wants to be a manager rather than a coach. But hey ho. Just very quickly, Champions League draw was made today. We got AC Milan. Not a bad draw for us at all. I find it hilarious that Man United drew Barcelona.
Fantastic. Honestly, I saw Mark Goldbridge go absolutely nuts because he's saying that it's rigged now.
I do think he has a point though.
I watched the video.
When you look at it, it's bad.
That's pretty bad for But yeah, I feel they'll get absolutely trounced.
I don't know. I think it'll be close, but yeah, Villa won this weekend, City won this weekend. They're the only other 2 notable games, but. We're here to talk about the England squad. I don't know why that punch was so aggressive. I punched my hand with a real bit of force. I believe it gets announced tomorrow. I believe the World Cup squad gets announced tomorrow. There's still a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes as to who gets a place on the plane, basically. Some aren't, some are. But we've spent some time off camera before we started the call today, making our own 26-man squads. We've got no idea what each other are going to say. And we'll just go through them, basically. There could be some controversial ones. There might not be. I don't know. But if we were Southgate, who would we take? Start with the goalkeepers.
I mean, I feel like goalkeepers are fairly self-explanatory.
I think there's one that could maybe go either way. But what three have you gone for?
I've gone for Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope.
I've gone exactly the same.
Yeah.
Henderson's the only maybe you could swap him in, but yeah.
I feel like, Pope got a little bit of experience. He wasn't great. Was it in the Nations League? I think he got.
Yeah,
he wasn't great, but he's got that little bit of experience. If we probably won't need him, just because Pickford. If Pickford gets injured, Ramsdale's the obvious second choice.
Yeah, I think I agree.
But yeah, I mean, Henderson. I mean, like you said, they could maybe interchange, but Pope's got that little bit of experience for me. So he's the goalkeepers are fairly straightforward.
I agree. Right, defenders. I've got more defenders than I've got midfielders or attackers. Have you got the same?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 defenders.
I've got 10.
Okay.
So similar. I'm guessing we both have Kyle Walker.
I do have Kyle Walker. I've got him in yellow. Just because I'm a little bit worried about Kyle Walker. That's what yellow represents. Just because, I don't know.
I thought he was like a certainty.
Well, he'll definitely get in. He'll definitely be on the plane, but I'm just worried about him. That's all. Because I feel like he hasn't been convincing for me for Man City this year.
Fair. Okay. Anyway, we've both got him. I don't particularly want to take him, but he's going to go. I've got Harry Maguire.
He's in red for me. I don't want him on the plane. I do not. Him and Luke Shaw I have in red. I don't want them on the plane.
No, that's harsh on Luke Shaw. We have no one else for that position.
I don't want them on the plane. I would rather play anyone else. I've got 7 other defenders. I'd rather play anyone else where Luke Shaw is.
Yeah, but left back is, we've got Trippier that can play there.
Yeah, play Trippier.
In my list.
Play Trippier.
Other than Shaw.
I'd honestly, the 3 I've got in red who I don't want going are Maguire, Shaw, and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I haven't put Trent on my list because I just don't think he'll go.
I think he'll go. I think he'll go.
So honestly, first little bit of disagreement.
I think he'll go just because he's a big name. He's a big name and he has the ability to pull out an unreal, like a game-changing performance. And I don't think any other defender if you want to call Trent Alexander a defender, I don't think any other defender can give us that. So I think he'll go just on the chance he's good.
Okay. Well, yeah, I haven't put him in, but fair. John Stones, I've put in. Have you got him?
Got him.
Got him. Eric Dyer, got him. Got him. Now I've put Ben White. I hope Ben White goes. He deserves to go, and that pains me to say because I'm a Spurs fan. But he didn't go to the Nations League, but he should go.
I think he's been critical for us at the back, and he's shown that he can play anywhere along that back line. So he needs to go. He needs to go. There's no reason Gareth Southgate should leave him. There's no reason.
Nope, I agree. Trippier, he's going.
Yep. Trippier's going.
I've put Reece James on my list. Now, I know he's injured, but I feel like he's close enough to coming back that he'll force his way onto the plane and he'll try and make Southgate take him.
I would put him as well, but I've erred on the side of caution just in case, he doesn't want to go, and I've put Tomori in there.
I've also put Tomori.
Yeah. Oh, that's your extra defender then? Okay, cool.
No, I've got one more as well.
You got one more?
I didn't put Trent.
Oh, you didn't put Trent? Oh, okay. Who did you put on?
I've put Connor Cody. Now, I know that's, and last season I would have agreed, but he's had a good few weeks for Everton, and he's a good backup option.
He won't play. That's the thing. He won't
Not
play.
to start by any means, but I would put him on the plane. Oops. No? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll accept it just because he won't play. But
right. Midfielders.
Okay.
The certainties. Bellingham, Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got them both.
Yep. Mason Mount.
Yep.
Now this is where I've put James Maddison. I'm assuming
I've got James Maddison.
Yeah. He deserves to go. Whether he will go, I don't know, but he has to be on that plane.
He has to be. The fact that he's been the only positive about Leicester this season.
Yeah.
He's been literally the only positive. So if Gareth Southgate has done his homework and gone to see Leicester,
He has. He's been there. There's been
there.
clips on the TV that he's been there.
He's been there, so he should be on the plane.
Right. Now, I don't think you would have taken him, but I've put Jordan Henderson purely because I was quite short of numbers and he's quite a good leader.
I've put him on the plane. He's on the plane.
Okay.
I included him. We did this a few weeks ago, I think, as well. I think we did it for the Nations League or shortly after the Nations League.
I think we reacted to the Nations League,
Yeah. I agree. Henderson, he's got World Cup experience. He's a good leader. I think he's a good person to bring on if we have to hold out a 1-0 win. I think he'd be the perfect person to bring on as a holding midfielder and just bring the team together and gradually eke out a 1-0 win. And I think that's the only reason we'll take him. And I think he's good for the dressing room as well.
Fair. Yeah. I've also put James Ward-Prowse on my list. Now, he was originally on my bench, but I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll really play, but I just had no one else, so I put him in there. He's dead ball ability.
I'm sorry, but we did not talk to each other before.
Have you put Ward-Prowse?
I've put Ward-Prowse in. I've put Ward-Prowse in, and I've got an extra attack. I've got an extra midfielder.
Another one.
Because obviously you had one more defender, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I've taken Jack Grealish.
Oh, okay. I've also taken Grealish. I've just put him in my up front list.
Okay. So I've put him in the midfield just because, again, big name. He can do it. He can put a shift in every now and then. Yep. Might be good to come off the bench, win us a free kick when we absolutely need one. So yeah, that's my midfield. Has ours been actually identical at the moment?
Apart from you had Trent, I had Cody.
Oh, okay. And then that's the only reason. Yeah, because then I would have picked
James, but only because of the injury. But
I would have picked James.
So yeah, there's been one disparity so far. It's quite impressive.
That's pretty impressive for two people that generally disagree.
Up front, Sterling, definite.
Yeah.
Saka.
Yeah.
Kane.
No.
Okay, good joke.
No, he's not.
Okay, I was going to say. Foden.
Yep.
I've put Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
And I've put Callum Wilson.
Oh, I haven't gone Callum Wilson.
I don't know if Wilson's injured or not because he came off early against Southampton for Newcastle.
If
he's fit, I've put him on my list.
I have not put Callum Wilson in.
Who have you put? Rashford.
I've put Rashford in there.
Okay, I was very split between the two.
I've put Rashford in there just because I think Southgate is more open to a big name going. I think he's quite egotistical in that sense. I think he wants it like no matter what we do in Qatar, Rashford looks better on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? And I feel like Southgate is that type of manager. He's like, I'm going to put out an insane team that would look really good on FIFA, but they play shit together. That is actually what's going to happen at the World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, given we've just done a 26-man with two differences, both differences could have gone either way, it's pretty impressive.
I'm proud of this.
I've written a few extra names down that I don't think will go, but I also don't think it's like impossible that they'll go. Well, actually, no, I do because I have to put them in my list. But I think they're decent shouts if all else fails. I'll put Ivan Toney on there.
Yeah, okay. I was split between him and Welbeck.
Sorry, what? Welbeck.
I feel like I just feel like he's on the bench. He's not going to go.
Danny Welbeck.
Between Welbeck and Ivan Toney, it's a bit
Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, Danny Welbeck.
Are you mad?
Danny Welbeck.
All right, well, that's just because that's got to be an Arsenal thing, surely.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, I'd like Oliver Skip to go, but he's not going to.
No. I mean, I don't know. We're not arguing, Dan, because we've done 26 names and we had one difference.
All right. Rashford, I've put on my bench. He could have been in the starting 11. Bowen, I've put on the bench as well. I think it's probably one tournament too early for him, and he hasn't had a good enough start to the season to force his way in.
I agree. Too much agreement going on. Honestly, people are bored.
Conor Gallagher, he's on the bench.
No. I'm actually taking Harry Kane out. I'm going to cause a little bit of controversy.
Oh, shut up. It's never happened. You're just being stupid now. Dan Burn, I've put on the bench. Now, I know that's a very left field shout, but he's had a good season.
Dan Burn?
I know. I thought that as well, but he's had a good season.
Dan Burn?
Yeah.
That's almost as bad as me saying Danny Welbeck. We're up there. Dan Burn?
I'm not saying he's going. I'm not saying he's even nearly going. But there's worse shouts. I'd rather him go than Maguire.
Actually, when you put it like that, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Thank you. And the other person I've put on the bench who is never going, but I've only put in there because of our pure shortage of left backs, is Ryan Sessegnon. He's not going.
He's definitely not going.
But we literally have no one else. We have Shaw is our only left back at the moment, unless Trippier goes on that side.
And Trippier. I mean, he'd have to.
But equally, I think Trippier is our best right back at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, actually, no. I'd probably play Ben White as a right back.
He's not a right back. I know you.
No, the thing is, I think everyone is seeing this problem, right? Everyone's seeing the same problem. I think we're going to play three at the back. Because if you look at
Maguire, Stones,
if you look at that team, I mean, Luke Shaw's arse. He's arse. He's rubbish. So it has to be.
Is he?
It has to be three at the back because four at the back, we're useless. I don't see where we get four at the back from.
The only four at the back I can see is Walker, Maguire, Stones, Shaw, or Trippier, Maguire, Stones, Shaw, or Walker, Maguire, Stones, Trippier. But Maguire and Stones will be the two if we play with a two. If you play with a three, surely it's unless it's Dyer, Stones, and Walker or something. But if it's in a three, I think Dyer will start.
Really? I'd probably say if we're going to play a three, Maguire, Walker, Stones.
He's played in a three all season, in the centre of a three, and he's played successfully there. Yes, I know he made a mistake yesterday, but he wasn't actually in the centre of the back three yesterday. He was on the right. And that's only because Sanchez is so...
We'll see. Who knows what Gareth Southgate has got up his sleeve for this one? I have absolutely no clue. But the midfield looks good. That's what I would say.
Kane, Sterling, Foden is our best front three. Interchangeable with Saka in maybe, but I think Saka's probably better off the bench.
Yeah, I'd probably say that as well. I wouldn't, he had the Euros, so he's probably a bit nervous coming into this one.
Yeah, he's
still young. We need experience. We need experience over anything else, I think.
In terms of experienced players, there's not a huge list. You've got Pickford, he's experienced. Kane is experienced. You could probably count Sterling as experienced now.
And Maguire.
Maguire, Stones, Walker, Trippier. So that's 7. I wouldn't count Dyer as experienced because he didn't do the last Euros. And although he's old, he's not experienced in the current England setup. Saka's not. Foden's not. Bellingham's not. Rice isn't. Mount's not.
I think we've got a great blend of a core of, like you said, so 7 experienced players who have been to Euros, have been to World Cups, they've been fairly successful. I can't believe I'm actually saying that about an England team, but they've been fairly successful as that 7. And then we've got the likes of Saka, Bellingham. We've got some great options that we can go to produce a great moment. So on paper, we look good, but
the problem is we've been fairly successful because we've played like Sweden and Colombia in knockout stages. We haven't played Brazil and Argentina in knockout stages.
This is going to be the issue because if you put Harry Maguire up against Messi, that man's career is going to end on worldwide television.
Yeah, if it hasn't already.
It almost has, but we've got nothing defensively who we can be like, right, stick him on Messi, just cause havoc on Messi all game, and you just contain him because you can't stop Messi, so just contain him. We haven't got a single defender who can do that.
I would say Trippier could and Walker could.
No way.
Well, in terms of everyone we've got, I think they're the only two that have a slight chance. John Stones isn't.
I'd honestly, I mean, what? I'd be like, I don't know. I'd probably put Henderson on. I'd just be like, Henderson, just chat shit in his ear.
No.
I'd be like, just fuck him up for 90 minutes.
No, I think Henderson doesn't have the
Henderson,
skill set or temperament to deal with him.
Maybe Rice, maybe Declan Rice.
I'd put Bellingham. He's just more agile, quicker, younger.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, though, like, looking at that team now, right? So we've come up with a 26-man squad. 26-man squad. How far do you think we're getting?
Well, I've just looked up our route to the final, our potential route to the final, assuming we top the group, which if we don't is...
We definitely should. We 100% should.
Yeah. So the round of 16, we will either get the Netherlands or Senegal. I mean, Senegal's shouldn't be that hard, although they've got some good players. But the Netherlands isn't an easy draw. Like, I know Van Dijk's a bit washed and Bergwijn's been terrible the last few weeks. But we should beat the Netherlands.
It's just tough, isn't it? It's just tough.
It's tough.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I reckon we scrape that win. I'd scrape that win either way.
We then have the faff of France, which is a bit tricky.
Honestly, we need... Thing is, I'm expecting an upset.
Oh, or Argentina.
Yeah, no. Okay, well, that's it then. That's it. Well, good. Well, that was a good effort, boys.
Good run to the quarters.
It was a good effort, boys. It was a good, decent effort. We did all right.
Or if we're runners up, we would get Argentina or Denmark. Again, not an easy game either way.
Honestly, we're going to need some serious upsets to happen elsewhere for us to get anywhere near the final.
Should a miracle happen and we keep going, it's then going to be Belgium or Portugal, or if we're on the other side of the draw, Spain, Germany, or Brazil.
Okay, all right.
Every good nation possible.
Keep the plane going, keep it up.
And then in the final, it'll be Spain, Germany, or Brazil, or France, Belgium, or Portugal.
Okay. Well,
we will do well to get semis again.
We'll do well to get semis. It's not coming home. Let's be honest. It's really not coming home.
We have players to make it happen. I don't think we have the manager to make it happen.
Yeah. No, I'd probably agree.
We've got. I would say. I know you're not going to agree with me, but in terms of who you would want on the pitch at a crucial moment, if you get one chance, out of every team in the World Cup, we've probably got the best man for that in terms of Harry Kane. If you're 1-on-1 with the keeper, who else would you put on it in like the 98th minute added time?
This is the problem I have with Harry Kane, Dan. Because if we're in the group stage, fine, cool. Yeah, he'll probably score that. He'll probably score it. For Tottenham, probably score a 1-on-1 with the keeper. If we're in any sort of high-stakes game, Harry Kane disappears from the stage. He scored
against Germany. He scored the winner against Denmark.
Penalty, Dan, unless it's a penalty or a tap-in, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything for England.
But that's such a stupid... That's his job. He's a number 9. For Tottenham, yes, he's a 10 and he drops deep. And number 9, like Haaland, he pretty much only scores tap-ins. You're not slagging him off.
I've brought up this same argument against Haaland. If you're just a tap-in merchant, I don't know. Like, yes, you still have to get to that position.
That's his job. I sound like Roy Keane now. That's his job. Like, that is what he's there to do. Sterling, Grealish, Foden are there to get the ball to him. He's there to go bonk past the keeper. It's not an easy skill.
It is easy, Dan. It is easy. You could do it. I could do it.
All right, regardless. All right, Denmark. I know he missed the penalty, but he scored the rebound, so it's fine. Like, he is there. He is there. World Cup, the Euros final, shootout, scores his penalty. There's no one else you would want at that crucial moment at that World Cup, I don't think, in terms of that number 9 position.
In terms of scoring a penalty, absolutely, I'll hand it to you. Harry Kane is probably... I'd probably say he's the best penalty taker in the world, Harry Kane.
He is.
I'd probably say, even from an Arsenal point of view, he is most likely. I don't even know who else I'd put on top of him, to be honest.
No, I don't know.
But
Letitia in his prime, but
I mean, yeah,
not really a thing anymore.
But yeah, we'll see.
But even if you need him to drop deep, he turns into one of the best number 10s in the world. Like, his passing of the football is unbelievable. It's so good.
I'm
It
not
hurts
convinced.
my brain, some of the passes that he can pull off.
I'm not convinced, but I'm hoping he convinces me. Like I said it at the beginning of the podcast, Dan. If he goes and gets the golden boot and is assisting and everything, and he carries us on his back to a final, I will
He's
sit.
got a golden boot at the World Cup before. Like, I don't understand your argument. He can't go missing in a World Cup and win a golden boot.
You can if you're playing. If you're playing Iran,
He wasn't though, was he?
Who's he playing, Dan? Our last World Cup. Who did we play on the way to?
We had a really tricky one. We had Colombia. Tricky one. Doesn't matter who it's against. Every other team had that potential. He still got the golden boot.
Of course it matters who you're playing against.
If
you're playing against Rotherham's under-12s and you score 5 goals, they're all tap-ins, and then you go and play Argentina in the World Cup and score the same 5 goals, which are worth more.
But
5 against Argentina, Dan.
Yeah, but the top strikers rarely score wonder goals. Like, they're not there to do that. If he's got a number 9 on his back, which he does for England, not for Tottenham, but he does for England,
okay, Dan.
He's there to put the ball in the back of the net.
All right.
He's not there to assist Sterling. Sterling's there to assist him.
Okay. All right, Dan. I'm not. We're both.
You know. Your argument
in this sphere right now, we are both England supporters. All right, we're both England fans, so we have to.
You've just said you'll take Danny Welbeck to the World Cup. That's self-sabotage.
No, I didn't. I didn't say I'd take Danny Welbeck to the World Cup. I said he's on my bench. I said he's literally a footnote.
He shouldn't be near the bench.
You said Sessegnon.
Yeah, he's not going.
Exactly. Danny Welbeck is
more likely to go.
Dan, I wrote Welbeck on a piece of paper, and you're bringing that up right now. I wrote it outside. He's not even on the spreadsheet I made up of the 26 names. He's on a different piece of paper. But I wrote as a mention. I wrote Welbeck to mention him.
I love that. I've done a post-it note. You're there with a full spreadsheet. But Sessegnon is more likely to go than Danny Welbeck because we have no left-backs. We have so many strikers. Kane, Wilson, Abraham. Take your pick, Rashford. They're all well above Danny Welbeck.
I literally wrote him as an alternative to Ivan Toney. I literally that's the
Toney. I forgot about him.
On my piece of paper.
What's the point?
What's the point of bringing up Sessegnon and all?
Because we have no left backs.
Connor Cody should not even be there, and he's
on no left backs. That's the point of bringing up Sessegnon. He shouldn't go.
All right, look. Let's
no one else.
Let's move on because we've been shouting for too long.
Not Ramsdale, Henderson's he shouldn't go, but if we had no one else, he would.
Look, I'm going to move it on, Dan. I'm going to move it on because we've been shouting at each other for too long, and people have probably left. But I'm going to move it on just with this little fact. All right, just with this little fact that I've just found on my phone. All right, England obviously wish them luck at the World Cup, but moving it back to what this podcast is about: Arsenal versus Spurs.
Oh, good.
Okay,
more depression.
We are officially, we're top of the league now, 34 points, which is the the 5th most points after 13 Premier League games in Premier League history. Little round of applause for that as well. Of the top 10 teams, right, in this list, only Newcastle, who had 34 points after 13 games in 1995-96, did not go on to win the title.
But you won 8 out of your first 9 games, and you're also the only team to have done that and not won the title.
Dan, it was just a nice little note. It was just a nice little footnote.
It wasn't nice because I'm a Tottenham fan. It was very unnice.
I thought it was nice.
Look, you're not winning the league. You're winning the league.
I mean, where we are right now, 89% of the time, the team in the position that we are in right now have gone on to win the title. Yeah, imagine the scenes. Imagine the scenes on the Rivals podcast if in our premiere season of doing this, in season 1 of the Rivals podcast, Dan picked up his phone, messaged me and thought, this would be a nice idea for a podcast. Arsenal versus Spurs. And Arsenal win the title for the first time in... Cool. How many times? How many years? How many years is that? I'll let you count. How many years, Dan?
Less than us.
Less than
I know that. Let's not get bogged down with facts here. You're not winning the title. City are winning the title. You barely beat a Chelsea team that were shocking.
We'll see. We'll see. They barely beat Fulham, so we'll see.
That's true. They did have 10 men for most of the game.
We'll see. We'll see.
Don't make me talk about that VAR decision again. I'll go off on one again about that penalty. I'm telling you. Very, very quickly, we need to talk about the Carabao Cup, which is happening this week. Who have you? Oh, you've got Brighton.
Well, that's tough.
What? That's not. You should
Brighton,
win that.
We've discussed already, Dan. Brighton are a tough team to beat.
You're at home to Brighton. That's not a tough game for a team like Arsenal.
At home, then fine. If it was at Brighton, then maybe something a little bit different. But at home, yeah, we should be beating Brighton.
We are away to Forest, which isn't an easy game by any means. I know Forest are bad, but they're good at home. They beat Liverpool at home.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I might finally get to see Fraser Forster play. He's been sat on the bench ever since he joined. I just want him to get some minutes.
I mean, yeah, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
Someone outside my window's doing fireworks. They're a bit late.
Better late than never.
Also, Jed Spence. Surely that man starts in the EFL Cup. Royale had another stinker. You know the sort of meme thing that you mentioned last week that against Bournemouth, Royale came off, Perisic came on, game changed.
Yeah.
Against Liverpool, Royale came off, 1 minute later, Kulusevski assists and we score. It's not a coincidence.
Conte
it's not a coincidence.
Get the message at some point. He has to. Honestly, Royale made me laugh. I haven't seen.
Well, glad he made someone laugh.
I haven't seen a Tottenham game. I can't remember the last time I watched one, but I did watch the Liverpool game, and it was hilarious how bad he is. Just how costly his mistakes are.
He crossed the ball to the corner flag in the second half. That's not a player, Emerson Royale. But anyway, I hope Jed Spence starts against Forest, and I hope Jed Spence plays well against Forest, and I hope Conte realises, probably shouldn't be playing Emerson Royale anymore. He makes Doherty look good. That's how bad he is.
Yeah. I don't know who's out there defending Emerson Royale.
I saw a clip on TikTok this morning. Some Spurs fan said that they're his favourite player. 28 million of His Majesty's finest we paid for him.
That's not a Spurs fan. That's an Arsenal fan in disguise.
28 million. Well, he has a Spurs kit on, so that's an Arsenal fan that's put a Spurs kit on just to say that. Fair play.
Yeah.
But every time I mention him, I get angry.
Yeah, I can see.
I don't get it. I do not get it.
For people that are only listening on audio, he's going a little bit red. Just talking about Emerson Royale.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Why is he starting Jed Spence as well? Like, I would understand if Doherty was the backup, maybe. Yeah. But we literally have a young person eager to prove that he wants to, make it in the Prem and all that kind of thing. He was so good for Forest last season against Arsenal in the FA Cup. I'm not just saying this to bully Arsenal, but he bullied your team. He was unbelievable in that match that you lost.
He was good.
Give him a chance. Start him against Forest. He will prove that he's actually quite a good player. And then, happy days. Start him against Leeds in the final game before the World Cup. Give him a chance. 6 weeks. Do your stuff. Start again after the World Cup. We can't really rest anyone, which is a bit of a problem because we've got no one to replace them with because we're all injured. But we move. Bournemouth play Everton at home. Another tricky little game for Bournemouth, but hopefully they'll win it. City-Chelsea is the best fixture in the third round of the Carabao Cup.
It's good on paper. But after what we've just done to Chelsea, I mean, I don't see Man City dropping any.
Didn't exactly batter them.
No, I'm not saying we did. But
oh my God, Villa play United again in the EFL Cup.
Oh.
Could Emery get 6 points in his first 2 meetings?
I honestly think he could. Honestly, I think he could because that was a brilliant performance by Villa.
Yeah, this one's at Old Trafford though.
I don't even know if it matters.
Well, we lost there.
Yeah, it's not.
Bournemouth as well. They play Everton on Tuesday at the Vitality, and then they play Everton on Saturday at the Vitality. Everton have just got a holiday on the South Coast.
Yeah,
happy days. Right, we'll probably reconvene on Thursday to talk about those and to preview the weekend's action, which isn't particularly interesting, to be honest. But, got to do what you got to do. And then the Premier League pauses for the World Cup, where we probably get knocked out in the round of 16.
Yeah, and we'll have a good laugh about that. We'll have a good rant. It'd be a good little different angle for us, Dan, because obviously, we're pit against each other
For once,
naturally on this podcast. So, I mean, to complain together might be nice.
For once, we'll have the same opinion. Well, we won't have the same opinions, of course we won't. It's us. But, we are supporting the same team for once.
Yeah.
Which, we don't normally do. Are you excited for the World Cup?
Yeah. I think the majority of my non-excitement is because it's at a weird time in the year. I feel like I should be outside, enjoying a nice cold cider and watching it at the pub or something. But I will be watching it with my girlfriend whilst putting up Christmas decorations. That doesn't sit well with me.
It's.
But I think that's the majority. I think once it gets started, obviously the way all the controversy that's surrounding it is not great either. But I mean, once it gets started, I think it should be. It should. Everyone loves a World Cup every now and then, don't they? So
they do. But the way the Euros was so good was just because everyone was outside. We were doing well.
Yeah.
Everyone was together. It doesn't really have the same vibe to it when you're snuggled in a living room.
No. I agree.
It's not really the same, is it?
I agree. I don't see us going very far, unfortunately. I said it at the Euros and I said it at the World Cup before that, and we did pretty well. So if I say it again, we might go. A miracle might happen. But genuinely, yeah.
A very quick note: Brazil's World Cup squad has just been announced. Firmino isn't going. Martinelli and Jesus are. Richarlison is. Antony and Rafinha are. Gabriel, your defender Gabriel, isn't.
Oh.
Thiago Silva is. Dani Alves is. Alisson and Ederson are obviously both going. Sorry, that debate, by the way, Alisson is so far clear of Ederson.
Oh. Easy.
Far clear of Ederson. Ederson, his save percentage is the worst in the league. I always say he's not a very good keeper and he gets slandered for it.
Easy.
But yeah, no Firmino. Bruno Guimaraes is going, so fair play. Richarlison and Jesus, I'm surprised they're both going.
I'm not. Richarlison's a good backup.
Richarlison starts though for Brazil.
He won't.
No, I'm not saying that with any Spurs. That is what he does. The Brazil manager starts Richarlison.
I mean,
I know Jesus has had a good season.
It'd be a shock to me if he did after seeing what Jesus is doing for us. But that Brazil
for a while.
That Brazil squad sounds a little bit disgusting.
It is ridiculous.
It sounds very, very tough to beat.
Alisson, Silva, whether you got Richarlison or Jesus is irrelevant. They can both score a goal.
Yeah,
it's a problem for whoever draws Brazil. To be honest,
even without Neymar.
Why is Neymar not going?
You didn't say his name.
No, I might have just missed him. I'm sure he's probably going.
Because that'll be a shock if he isn't going.
No. Neymar's going. Vinicius Junior is going. The leak was that Martinelli wasn't, but they've obviously got that wrong because he is.
No, he's going. He's going.
Okay, so Jesus has come in place of Firmino. Ooh. Ouch.
I'd say that's right, though. I'd say that's right. Even without Arsenal bias, that is completely the right decision.
Well, I would take them both.
I'd take them both over Richarlison if that was an option.
No. Because Richarlison has done it in a Brazil shirt countless times. Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Guimaraes, Casemiro's going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that Brazil squad is a problem.
Fabinho's going. Oh, it's all right. We have a chance. Fred's going. So
okay. All right. We're fine then. We're fine. If he starts, we'll win.
We might be all right. Paqueta's going. I think it's Martinelli, Neymar. Their front line is actually ridiculous. Jesus, Martinelli, Neymar, Rafinha, Richarlison, Vinicius Junior. That's ridiculous.
When you put up that against Foden, Rashford, Sancho, Sterling, Saka, and Kane,
That's ridiculous.
or even worse, Dan, even worse, if you put those names up against White, Stones, Dyer, Tamori, Trippier, Walker, Maguire, Trent, and Shaw,
No.
then you've got a massive problem.
It's not coming home, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's not,
The Lionesses brought it home. The men are not bringing it home for a while.
No. Last thing before we kick off. Stop. Your World Cup final. Who is it?
Well, I'd love to see Argentina-Portugal, obviously. Everyone would love to see that, because I think it's a line that'll be Messi's 1,000th game.
1,000th game.
If that is the final, I'd rather Argentina win it. I'd like to see us get there, obviously.
Realistically, who do you think it is? I haven't seen the tournament tree, so I don't know what's actually possible. But
no, I don't. I don't know if this is possible or not. But I think Argentina. I don't think Argentina-Brazil is possible. But if it is, I think that will be the final. I think they're the two best teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. I'd like to see. Again, don't know if it's possible. I'd like to see Argentina us is what I'd like to see. But
yeah. Thing is, if we don't win it, I want Argentina to win it.
Yeah, realistically.
But obviously, I want us to win it.
Realistically, Argentina Portugal looks like the most realistic option.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot on the line for both of them, Messi and Ronaldo, and everyone else looks a little bit out of form.
And it actually could happen. I think France will be the disappointment of the tournament. I don't know. Now, this is good. This really hurts me to say because of how much I love him. But I don't think Hugo Lloris is good enough to win a World Cup as a World Cup captain with France anymore. I just feel like he's got too many errors in him now.
Yeah.
That hurts me to say. I love Hugo Lloris, but
I'm going to go out there and say that France will probably drop to second in their group. I feel like they've got
possibly.
that. I think they've got. I think they'll go out either. They might even go out. I think they're that full of mistakes. Do you have a brightness on there?
Jesus, I just blinded myself.
She got hit with a flashbang.
Jeez, I can't even turn it down. Right, never mind. We'll go with this.
Who have France got in their group? Because that'll be interesting.
Bear with. Time to blind myself some more.
But yeah, I do agree. France, I think, will be the disappointment of the tournament, and England to win it, obviously. But if not, Argentina. That's what I'd love to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see South Korea win it. Son. Oh, Son. By the way, on that, it looks like he probably will make the World Cup. So thank Jesus for that.
Beautiful.
France are getting out their group. They've got themselves, obviously, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. So it'll be France and Denmark.
Oh, no, come on. Denmark, I think Denmark will probably win that game. And then Tunisia have just got to pull something out the bag. Tunisia just got to do something.
Are there any famous footballers from Tunisia?
I don't think so, no.
Tunisia famous footballers.
No.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of any of these.
Just sheep farmers and...
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, okay, cool.
Got no idea.
Lovely jubbly. Well, that's, I think that's everything about wrapped up.
Yeah, there was one other thing I had as well. Oh, this was it. I might have asked you this before. Final question before we finish. Southgate looks like he's going to leave after the World Cup, no matter how we do. That seems to be the rumour. Would you take Tuchel?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's quite controversial, so I didn't know what you'd say.
Absolutely, I'd take Tuchel.
No, I would 100% take Tuchel.
Genuinely, that's really the only job, big job going in football.
Obviously, his dream job would be the Germany job. But he said that he's open to the England job. Now, I know that is like Pochettino managing Arsenal or Wenger managing Tottenham.
I don't know, because
Germany, England. But, and I don't I particularly want to see a German managing England? No, but it's Tuchel, and his cup competition record is really, really good. And with this crop of players, I guarantee Tuchel would do better than Southgate will.
Yeah.
Even if Tuchel came in now, before the World Cup.
I take him. I mean, who else? What's the other option? Gerrard?
No, thanks. I'd love Eddie Howe. I'd love Eddie Howe at England, but he's not going to leave his 20,000 million a week paycheck at Newcastle, is he?
Yeah.
I love Eddie Howe. I'm a really big fan of Eddie Howe, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I think Tuchel's probably the best option, given we'll probably have to go with like a foreign manager anyway, because there's no English managers. Get Tuchel in, win a Euros, do a World Cup. He can then leave, and we'll get Eddie Howe in, who will probably be at the end of his Newcastle tenure by then.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. This turned out to be quite a long podcast, actually. Yes. Thank you for listening. If you're on audio, give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. If you're on YouTube, just like the video. I don't know what else you can do on YouTube, really. But yeah, Cambridge, thanks for coming on, having a chat about the World Cup, and we'll be back in a few days. A little bonus podcast today.
Yeah, a little cheeky one. Thank you for having me, and we'll be back next week.
We will indeed. Right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.